Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Yende. One of the longest-running debates in human biology has been this: is sexual orientation a conscious choice, or is it something deeper that develops as part of who we are? For many years, people argued that attraction was shaped mainly by culture, life experience, or deliberate decision. But the science of the brain has complicated that story. Attraction rarely feels like a decision you make in a moment of reasoning. Think about your first crush. Did you sit down and choose to feel it? Most people answer no. The feeling arose before they could name it, before they understood it, often long before they could explain it to themselves. That simple observation has driven generations of researchers to ask where these feelings come from. When neuroscientists and developmental biologists looked more closely, they began to see patterns that point to influences operating early in life, even before birth. Traits linked to whom we find attractive often appear before puberty, before sexual experience, and before many explicit cultural messages could fully shape them. That has led scientists to examine prenatal and early developmental factors, hormones that bathe the developing brain, genetic variants and epigenetic marks that influence gene activity, the timing of brain wiring, and the ways a mother's body signals interact with the fetus. One of the more striking findings is the so-called older brother effect. Multiple replicated studies show that, on average, each older biological brother a man has slightly increases the probability that he will later identify as gay. The effect is modest. Most men with older brothers are heterosexual, but because it has been observed across many samples, it suggests a biological mechanism linked to pregnancy. One plausible explanation is the maternal immune hypothesis. After carrying several male fetuses, a mother's immune system may produce antibodies that subtly alter the hormonal or molecular environment of subsequent male fetuses, influencing aspects of brain development tied to attraction. This idea remains under active investigation and is one of several competing and complementary hypotheses. Other lines of research point to differences in brain regions involved in sexual and social behavior. Some studies have reported average differences in parts of the hypothalamus and in neural circuits related to attraction, though findings vary and are still debated. Twin and genetic studies also show that genes contribute to sexual orientation, but they do not tell the whole story. Heritability is partial, not absolute, and gene-environment interactions and developmental timing matter. Taken together, the evidence suggests sexual orientation emerges from a complex interplay of biology, development, and environment, not from a simple act of conscious choice. Understanding this complexity does more than satisfy scientific curiosity. It invites empathy. As neuroscience peels back layers of development that begin long before conscious awareness, it becomes harder to frame attraction as merely a preference freely chosen in adulthood. Instead, it appears to be a characteristic shaped by processes that start very early in life.